Paul Pierce recently spoke out on how he believes teams should defend against Jokic. It was not really a strategy on how to stop Jokic, but more of a concession that you're just going to have to let Jokic get his and try to stop the others. It was like the typical strategy you use against any great player. I would say you could insert their names when they're in their primes: Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan, Shaq, LeBron, etc., etc. But I'm just going to read this out to you. Here's what he said. Don't focus on stopping Jokic. You're not stopping him. Focus on stopping everybody else. I'm telling you, you got to make Joker a scorer. Make him a scorer. We can live with that. But when he dropping dimes off over here, Gordon, Murray, Michael Porter Jr., because when these other dudes don't play well, you got a better shot to beat them. So he said that, and he also said, don't give him no back doors. Don't give him no flares. Make him go one-on-one. Play him one-on-one. Let him go one-on-one. Don't help. If he get 40, 50, and he don't get those 10, 11, 12 assists, I think you got a shot. So everything Pierce said is easier said than done. I honestly don't think there's a really clear-cut way of stopping Jokic. Sure, you can try to shut down the rest of those guys, Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon. You can make an attempt to do that, but then you're gonna dare Jokic to beat you one-on-one. And we saw teams do that last year in the playoffs. I think he had some games where he scored above 40 during the playoffs. I think he might have had one where he got 50. So it's really a pick your poison situation with Joker. I feel it's very hard to defend against a player like him. He's more than capable of dropping 30 or more if he has to get that to beat you. And if you try to double and triple team him, you're also screwed because he's one of the greatest passers of all time. Just he's up there with Magic Johnson. I feel Steve Nash, just all these other great passers. He's top of the line when it comes to that. So his IQ is so strong that you could double triple team him, but then he's going to get all these other guys easy buckets. So I feel with Jokic, it's just one of those things. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, essentially. Now, I think the team that had the best success against Jokic was the Lakers. Not last year's Lakers team, but the one in 2020. They had enough big bodies and combinations of big bodies that could at least slow him down. Like I can even pull up the stats from his 2020 series against the Lakers, in which he averaged 21.8 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 5 assists in that series. And that was basically in that series, Dwight Howard and Anthony Davis all just coming at him together and help. Just they were double teaming him a lot. So they giving help to each other whenever they're switched on Jokic. Dwight had the strength to muscle him when he was trying to get in post position. Davis could come in there for help. So they had that type of success with those guys back then. If you think about it, just and they also had JaVale McGee they could put in there for stretches with athleticism to help those guys. So they had a combination of two super athletic bigs and JaVale, Anthony Davis, that could come from the weak side to bother him, and Dwight, who was physically strong to push him out of position, to at least slow him down. So I felt that was huge for them a few years back versus last year against Anthony Davis. He just scorched him. I would say that it changed the game. I would say his numbers were last year 27.8 points. That's like a nearly 6-point increase from the last time they faced. 14.5 rebounds compared to 7.2 rebounds he was averaging against them in that 2020 series. So he doubled that. His assists in the 2020 series was 5 assists a game. And last year he got 11.8 assists. So that shows you how much a difference it makes when you just have just one athletic big against Jokic versus two athletic bigs who could provide weak side help and one super strong guy that could muscle with him in battle. You need to have that combination, I feel, of bigs to slow Jokic down. But there's only one team I feel that has a combination like that could really bother him. that you could slow him down with, and that is the Milwaukee Bucks. I see that with Giannis. He's very strong and built like a truck. You can wrestle with him, and then you have Lopez, who's also pretty strong and has strength to combat him, and is also very long. I wouldn't say Lopez is super athletic at all. He has all right athleticism, but Giannis is the one with the super athletic ability, plus the strength of the muscle. And then you have Bobby Portis off the bench who can help in doubles against him. At least slowing him down to some degree, providing that help. I think the Bucks have the best setup to slow him down, but they're not going to stop him. So that's why I believe the Bucks are probably the only team I give a shot to beat the Nuggets in the playoffs. I think everybody else can't really match up with Jokic. They don't have the ability to contain him. So it's not easy if you think about it. Nobody besides Milwaukee, from what I see, has this setup that could potentially contain him when I look at all these other rosters. And I think people are going to see that throughout the playoffs. I definitely think the Nuggets are going to win it all again if no one gets hurt. I see them doing it. It's just very hard to stop Jokic. He's having a stretch that is up there with all these other greats. He's at his peak, and you can't really do anything about it. You just had to hope that you could stop the other guys. But like I said, that's going to be very hard. So that's all I have to say.